Cannabis is going to be sold legally, so it must be pretty harmless, right? That is what those that sell it in your town want you to believe, because when people think a substance is relatively harmless, they use it more. This is generally the case in Vermont, which has the highest past month cannabis or THC use in the United States for both adults and teens. While people have been taught that cannabis is a harmless plant, today's high THC products come in many forms, making cannabis up to 40 times stronger than in the past. Doctors know that Vermonters want to be informed decision makers. The Vermont Medical Society reviewed the latest research. What did they find? Cannabis or THC may cause 1. Psychosis. There are numerous studies on cannabis, psychosis, and schizophrenia. Using greater than 15% THC products daily may result in 5 times the likelihood of developing psychosis and increase schizophrenia. In some cities, cannabis accounts for nearly half the new psychotic patients. In Colorado, where recreational cannabis was first legalized, emergency room visits have spiked, crowding hospitals, overburdening healthcare facilities, and increasing costs. 2. Impaired driving. 1 in 6 Vermont teen drivers say they drove under the influence of marijuana last month. Currently, 1 in 5 fatal car crashes in Vermont involve THC. 3. Addiction. The #1 state in the U.S. for substance use disorder is Colorado. Vermont is currently #2. If cannabis sellers target kids, this increases addiction. In cannabis legal states with laws like Vermont's limiting advertising, ads like this are still found without health warnings. This targeting is especially concerning since current Vermont rules say cannabis drugstores may be located as close as 500 feet from a school and right next to a daycare. 4. Suicide attempt. A review of numerous studies concluded that adolescent risk of suicide attempt increased by an average of 3.5 times with the use of cannabis, even when there is no history of mental illness. 5. Uncontrollable vomiting. A new condition known as cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, or CHS, results in extreme pain and potentially life-threatening, unrelenting, violent vomiting due to cannabis use. Rare prior to cannabis commercialization, CHS is an expensive healthcare burden doctors now see daily in busy ERs. 6. Harm to a fetus or a nursing baby. Use of marijuana during pregnancy may stunt the growth of the fetus, and these children may have higher rates of depression, hyperactivity, and inattention. Vermont doctors recommend a cap on THC of 15%, which is about 10 times as potent as marijuana of the 1970s. In Holland, where cannabis use has been prevalent for years, health and government officials propose classifying products above 15% THC as hard drugs, similar to cocaine and ecstasy. The current Vermont legislation allows for plants with THC as high as 30% and concentrates as high as 60%. The higher the THC, the more addictive and the greater the risk of physical or mental health issues, such as psychosis, addiction, suicide, or self-harm. The Vermont Medical Society recommended that these 6 warnings be added to cannabis and THC product labels and advertisements. If you too feel this is important, contact your state and local representative and the 3 Cannabis Control Board members. Tell them that regulating cannabis sales means requiring the 6 doctors' health warnings on products sold in Vermont, similar to how GMO label warnings appear on food. Vermonters want to be informed decision makers.